John F. Kennedy is one of the most admired Democratic presidents in history. However, before winning the presidency against Nixon in 1960, he was viewed as a spoiled lotto with a life of privilege and comfort. His short congressional career had been overlooked with little to no accomplishments. Many voters were leaning towards the more successful and more politically respected nominee Richard Nixon. Nixon was expected to win by a landslide. However, a tide was spurring and caused a predicted 150,000 plus votes to change who they would cast a vote for, causing the closest presidential election in history. After months of campaigning and constant debates, voters cast in their ballots. Kennedy pulled with the victory with a mere 112,000 vote lead than Nixon. However, what caused this tide switch that changed the mind of 150,000 plus voters? Every voter since 1901 with the creation of the radio, with campaigns interrupting songs to today with barraging campaign ads on TV. Kennedy took a different stance of campaigning, of using his closest friend. At the time, he was the most successful and most listened to actor and American singer-songwriter and the most influential artist in the 20th century. He sold over 150 million records worldwide and to this day is still listened to and played on the radio. Frank Sinatra became friends with Kennedy around 1956 through a man named Peter Lawfield, a common friend of the two. Sinatra seemed excessively showy of his new friend and took him to parties and out of the political office. Sinatra introduced him to the fancy-known life of singers and actors. He took Kennedy to Vegas and introduced him to women, where Kennedy met Jackie, his future wife, and to Sinatra's singing. He wrote over 200 singles. One of these songs was High Hopes. The childhood tune reached top 30 Billboard in the United States after 2 months of release. He soon later released a different version of this song with the different lyrics, which was used as the theme song for the 1960 theme song presidential campaign for JFK. The lyrics, being an outright push to vote for Kennedy in this coming election, were not hidden behind any slacking meaning, but instead were pushed with heavy emphasis. Take a listen to this catchy tune.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack. Everyone wants to back Jack. Jack is on the right track, 'cause he's got...
This media outpost was highly successful in turning the tides and made Illinois' votes flip, causing Kennedy to win not only the popular vote but also the Electoral College and get elected for president. On January 19, 1960, during the first speech made by the newly inducted President Kennedy, thanked Sinatra at his own inaugural gala by saying,
"I know we're all indebted to a great friend, Frank Sinatra."
While Sinatra and Kennedy are most definitely not obscure characters, how Kennedy was elected was. Without Sinatra's close friendship with Kennedy, Kennedy wouldn't have won the election to go on and do great things. The entire history of the U.S. changed due to this song. The Cuban Missile Crisis could have been a disaster if it weren't for Kennedy's proper discourse and courses of action. Through his reforms, he took the U.S. economy out of recession, and none of it were to be sought out if it weren't for High Hopes by Frank Sinatra.